Well, I guess my time off vacation, my little, hiatus is off. It looks like I had to come back due to the fact that everything has happened. Now, as y'all know, I was at MomoCon. We had setups. We did everything great for the UGL. Don't really want to talk about that today due to the fact that everything I need to talk about today is a bunch of bullshit that is happening. Not only at E3. We're not even going to start at E3. No, we're not going to start there. We will talk about it, though, because there's a lot of bullshit that needs to be combed out, all right? And there's a lot of things I want to talk about that's actually positive in E3. But first, I have to start with the GDC. That's right, Microsoft. Let's get into this, shall we? Microsoft. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. I mean, did anybody see what was going on? It's clear that these companies have lost their damn brains. Oh, bravo, Microsoft. Bravo. Way to be a douchebag as far as I'm concerned. You think that black people are supposed to be okay with this? Or I'll just say for myself, because I'm not going to speak for all black people, because some of you is fucking stupid out there, all right? You think that a person like myself, a black man, is supposed to be okay with this? You think that I'm supposed to just praise this because you decide to use us as an attraction to score some cool points? You think that's okay? And the thing is, when I talked about this on Twitter, there were some black people who decided they wanted to defend Microsoft on this and came to me and was like, we should be happy about this. We should be happy. And, that they acknowledged us, that they just gave us the bottom of the barrel and that we can work on it next year. Are you fucking serious? That's your stance to try and cape for Microsoft, to defend Microsoft's bullshit. Really? That's what you want to do? Because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You think I give a fuck about next year? No. Look at it for what it is, okay? They want to wheel us out there like an attraction to score some fucking cool points. Literally, Microsoft, they put this shit together and was like, see, we got black people here too. That makes us okay now, right? Totally not ignorant, right? Totally. That's the fuck they did. And I'm supposed to be okay with that? Look, I'll put it like this. If you're sitting here and you want to praise them for their ignorance, then there's something fucking wrong with you. Companies should know, because the community knows, all right, that it doesn't matter if you're black, if you're white, or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's about skill. So when you do that and you wheel us out there like a fucking animal in a cage, hey, look at the black people we got. Of course I'm not going to be okay with that. It is ignorant as fuck for Microsoft to do that. But that's not all. No. They didn't just do it with black people. They did it with a number of different minorities as well. You took Microsoft, every minority set that they've been talking about for a couple of years now, and decided to highlight them individually. You cannot be this. Whoever greenlit this garbage deserves to be fired, all right? Because it doesn't show diversity. It doesn't show equality. Let me tell you something. When people are like, my culture, fuck your culture. I don't care about that. Understand when you're being fucking used is the bottom line to all this. And let me tell you something, okay? All right? Because at the end of all this, what Microsoft just did, they didn't do equality. They didn't do diversity. Because if you want true diversity and true equality, you wouldn't make said groups stand out. You wouldn't highlight them like this. No, you wouldn't. Because if we're equal, then it doesn't matter. Right? All right then. So you played yourself, and the people defending this shit, you played them too. You used them, like I said, to make it look like you're the good guy, when technically you made yourself look worse than what you really did. And the thing is, when gamers try to tell you this in your comment section, you decided to all of a sudden disable the comments. So everyone that was against you, all right, oh, no, we can't deal with this. Let me disable the comments. So I find it funny that these companies, again, want to sit here and act like they're for said minority group. But guess what? You're not, because you're still not listening to us. I forgot, I have to be a middle class to, upper class rich kid in order to get that message across, because you're not going to listen to us lowly minorities, now are you? I'm absolutely distraught that a company would go this far to try and prove that they're, either not racist or not ignorant, and it actually backfires in your fucking face. It's absolutely disgusting to see that not the community, but the industry in general has gone this far. And a number of you had told me, well, this isn't the industry, this is the GDC. It was promoted by Microsoft, so yes, it is the industry, okay? You can't be this ignorant, Microsoft. That's where it bothers me the most. What they did is unforgivable, as far as I'm concerned. Someone say, you're getting mad over racism. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. I'm upset over the ignorance that a big-time company like Microsoft would pull, doing something, would protect this. And listen, some people in the community defend. You don't wheel people out like they're animals in cages to highlight them like this. It makes you look even worse. That's what it does. No ifs, ands, or buts on that one. So when Microsoft's E3 came around, I was like, pretty much fuck Microsoft. I don't have anything really good to say about Microsoft after this. I don't. But of course, that's a whole different story. Microsoft does that and doesn't apologize for that. That's cool. That's cool because, on the level, you're going to have these other people who want to speak for you, Oh, that's great. That's exactly what we were trying to do. Yet, the rest of them still don't listen to us. Yeah. But we're going to move on. Because we're going to talk about, since, the last one, women in gaming and all that. I guess we should talk about this as well. Because men, you are being blamed once again. I have to read this headline. This is crazy. Childish men are to blame for women having kids late in life. Wow. Really? This is where we're going now. So you have a stock photo of men, or it seems like men, playing video games, eating pizza, and drinking beer. As if women have never done this ever. Ever. That's what you're saying. That's the stock photo. That's the image that you're trying to push out there. Women have never done this. You're going to tell me women themselves have never been immature. You're going to tell me there's women out there who don't want to have children. You're going to tell me there's women out there who act like fucking idiots. You're going to tell me this... not at all. Not at all. Right? That's what you're saying. It's solely because of men. Are you serious? To sit here and say that it's a man's fault, all men, because men, period, men, that's the header, men. That it's men, it's their fault that women have children late. Because, all women want to have children early, apparently. They're not worried about their careers or anything like that, right? Right? Okay. It's childish of you, the author, and immature of you, the author, to sit here and blame an entire gender without knowing all men and saying that. So you made yourself look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Again, the media makes themselves look like... Oh, I forgot. We have more on the media. I'm sorry. We have more on the media. Yes, for those who don't know, Mass Effect Andromeda. Apparently, all right, conspiracy theories show that Gamergate, here we go again, people, Gamergate, all right, is as big as a problem as ever. Are you serious? So, let me get it straight. Mass Effect Andromeda, which was a horrible game, all right, had tons of bugs. That's apparently Gamergate's fault. Yeah. It can't be the fact that consumers were very upset with the fact that you put out a subpar game and the company itself was, they shut it down and all that type of stuff. We're not going to talk about that, right? EA, we're not going to talk about that? No. This article, clearly, it has to be Gamergate's fault because the boogeyman is back ever since E3. It's amazing that when E3 comes around every year, it's like Christmas for people because all the opportunists and all the shills come out. Do they not? It's always Gamergate's fault when you have no one else to blame because you never want to blame yourself. You never want to take part and say, look, there's a responsibility on my end. Maybe I misspoke. Maybe I went something the wrong way. But we can try and mend that bridge, build that bridge back together, and have a good dialogue. No, it's never that, is it? No, it has to be always one person's fault. And it's always the boogeyman's fault, which is Gamergate. It's absolutely ridiculous. But there's more. Because now these people are going to tell you who you can date and who you can't date. That's right. This is what they're saying now. I love this. I'll tell you why I love this, okay? Because as you can see, these are childish and arrogant people saying this. You shouldn't date this person. You should date this person. Don't you ever date this person. Childish, arrogant people. These are women saying this. But, it's men's fault that, women are having, children late, right? Okay, right. But these are women saying this. Okay, let's get on this, shall we? All right? When you sit here and you tell people who they can date and who they can't date, it makes you look like you're some type of authority figure, which you're not. Okay? Number one, you don't tell people who they can date and who they can't fucking date. That's the bottom line. Don't you date alt-right. Don't you date Gamergate. Don't you shut the fuck up. You know what this is? This is a simple I keep telling people, this is reality versus fantasy, okay? Take this person saying this, okay? And put them on the street corner, in reality, and have them say that. Because that's what you do on Twitter. When you just say things like this, you're screaming it out to the Twitterverse. It's the same thing as if someone was on the corner, street corner, yelling it out to the public. Don't you date Gamergate! Don't you... You know, people are just going to walk by you like, the fuck are you talking about? The fuck out my face. That's what they're going to do. No one cares. You don't tell people how to run their lives. You don't do that. You can tell them to, probably grow up. But to tell them who they can and can't date, who the fuck are you? You're nobody. And it goes to show you the level of arrogance that these people have. Remember, these are the people who are supposed to be speaking for us, lowly minorities. That's right, because during E3, again, the Gamergates, oh my God, they're back. Never forget, fam, the harassment. That's right. Anita Sarkeesian decides now that, her Trump videos are not doing very well, she's trying to jump back right into gaming. When this tweet came out, even people at Gamergate were like, the fuck? We haven't said anything in I don't know how long. No, the harassment has never stopped. What you deem as harassment is actually pretty fucking pathetic. And I'm gonna show you an example of that later, okay? Because we have some good proof about harassment. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the fact is, now that E3 is here, let's say it's like Christmas. All the opportunists come out. It's amazing how these people can come out and be like, oh, wait a minute. I don't have anything to say really about video games. And I'm talking about Anita, yes. Because if you think about it, if you look at the track record with Anita Sarkeesian, when it comes to every E3, she's always had something to complain about. This year, she doesn't have anything to complain about. Remember, for a very long time it was, oh, well, there's not enough female lead representation. Then when you got all those, she didn't have anything to say. Then what she moved to next? Then the next E3. Oh, there's a lot of violence going on here. Remember when Doom came out? Oh, a lot of violence. This is just ultra violent. I can't take this. Mind you, she was supposed to be a fan of Doom from before because remember that picture she had when she took that picture with those stacks of video games? Doom is in there. But apparently, Doom is all of a sudden too violent for her. Yeah, remember that? Okay. Now this year, it's, well, there's enough female representation. People are tired of the violence thing. What do I do now? Never forget Gamergate, never forget the boogeyman, and that's what it comes down to. And it's funny because this all started due to the fact that, for those who don't know, this developer who made this indie game, The Last Night, that's coming out, it looked really well at E3. It looked really good as far as I'm concerned, for that type of game, was it a retro type game? Apparently Zoe Quinn came out and just jumped all over this developer because of some tweets that he made, 3 years ago about Gamergate? Being for Gamergate and not being for the brand of feminism that we see today? Apparently, yeah, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Right, 3 years. Okay, so, just remind you, 3 years ago. Zoe brought this up due to the fact that, if you don't know, she's got a book coming out very soon, alright, that's about to be released. And she needs the publicity. That's the only reason she did it, to create some buzz. And it was, but these people ruined my life, and you made this tweet 3 years ago, so I'm going to dig it back up, and I'm going to cry about it so that hopefully people can pay attention to me so that they can buy my book. It's fucking pathetic. And when that happened, of course, everyone's like, Opportunism, Shilling, let's do this. And then Anita came out, and then all these other people came out. Then the Justice League came out, the Social Justice League came out to defend her, and they bullied this guy, this developer, over what he said 3 years ago. So let me get this straight, okay? You want to sit here and say, the ride never ends, the harassment never ends, and then you go and dogpile a developer for something he said 3 years ago, because his game's coming out soon. And that you can, get something off of that, because your book's coming out. So you decide to pull what you would say is harassment, dogpiling, Gamergate-ish tactics, and trying to say that you're the good guy now. That's what you want to say. Oh my God. Like, do these people ever stop and think? No, I don't think they do. And you know what? It's gotten to the point now where it's gotten even worse. The developers, the company pretty much threw him under the bus. His own company threw him under the bus. And it got to a point where I got on Twitter and was like, would you like to talk about this? To discuss this? About what Gamergate is about? Of course, nothing. A lot of you retweeted and liked that tweet because you want them to see it. But, of course, they're not going to. Because they're afraid. That's what it comes down to. See, when it comes to actual facts and somebody who can actually talk, it's a whole different story. Who's just fearless, it's a different story. They can't shake you. They don't know what to do. So they just ignore you. That's what happens most of the time. But during all this dogpiling, of course, then you have Ubisoft employees coming out and threatening to pirate this man's game. Yes, this is the same Ubisoft employee who has doxed other Gamergaters before. That's right, and has no problem with that. And now you're talking about you're going to pirate this man's game? Ubisoft, I have to ask you as a company, because I'm shocked that you still have this man on roster, but Ubisoft, okay? Don't you have a big problem against piracy? Don't you have to the point where you had so much DRM on PC games that nobody wanted to play your games because of your policies? Huh? And you play and all this other stuff? It's amazing how you can sit here and say, as a company, we're going to stand against piracy, but our employees, they can pirate wherever the fuck they want. It's amazing that you're okay with this, Ubisoft. That threat of piracy, all right, it's one thing from the community, because it's like, okay, it's communities, it's a sea of thousands or millions, whatever. You don't take those threats seriously. But when you have someone who is representing an actual company, all right, that's against this type of stuff, they made a firm stand on this stuff, it speaks so much of hypocrisy. Not only the fact of pirating, but the dogpiling as well. Again, another hypocrisy. These people don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they make themselves, again, look worse than what they are. But speaking of threats, let's talk about this. Hackers threatened CD Projckt Red with stolen documents with a ransom. That's right. For the new game that's getting ready to come out, Cyberpunk, they have stolen documents and they're saying, look, if you don't give us X amount of this, we're going to leak this to the public. First off, I didn't even think it was that serious. I didn't think it was that serious. All right? I think it's absolutely stupid that people are holding games ransom now. Or it's not even the game itself. It's just certain documents, sketches, and concepts and stuff like that. So I understand that developers want to keep things under wraps, but eventually the concept art would come out. It's amazing that people are going this far and trying to demand ransom for a video game. I never thought I'd see the day where people would start demanding ransoms for video games, for some documents in video games. I mean, we've seen some weird things, in these previous couple of years. I mean, we've seen people rob stores for video games, rob trucks, full of GTA copies, and try to sell them in the black market or whatever. We've seen a lot of weird things in the previous couple of years, in this entire news era. But this, I think, takes the cake. You literally took some documents and said, give us money. That's, what the fuck? But it also says that a lot of these companies don't have that great security. Hello, Sony. Yeah, we'll talk about Sony later. You know what I mean? But I do want to keep on this, due to the fact that now we've got to roll into the FGC. And it still is a sexism thing, but now it's the FGC. That's right. It's not the community that's causing the sexism. No. The media is trying to attack the FGC and its characters. The characters from these games. That's right. Now, apparently, these women are so sexist. So, let's talk about this. Video game with porn-type heroines are harming children. That's right. Body image experts say. Oh, please, would somebody think of the children? Are you serious? When you try and pull this stunt, and we know it's a stunt, and we know it's bullshit, okay, about thinking of the children, about these porn-type bodies, number one, the entertainment field has always had people who are super attractive, whether it's the comic book industry and there's heroes who are, are supposed to be looked up as, two children as invincible gods. In movies, your stars and starlets always have these hard bodies or these very voluptuous bodies. In music, you see it in videos. But no, apparently because video games are doing it, it's a problem. Okay, so let's talk about this. There's a thing called the ESRB, I remember, that, with your children, that if a game is, they tell you right on the front of the box, if the game is M for mature, T for teen, E for everyone. It seems like this article tends to forget that, all right? Because when you're showing these type of games, like Dead or Alive, Beach Volleyball, or Dead or Alive, you should know by now that children, because we're talking about children, not teenagers, children. I can't tell you how many times. Remember a video I showed you when I was in GameStop, and the woman was buying, I showed the video, the woman was buying her child, who had to be about maybe 6, 7 years old, buying GTA and Call of Duty and all that type of stuff. Clearly parents aren't caring about the ESRB, even though when something bad happens, you'll be the first to blame video games, as this article's doing right now. But the article goes even further. That's right. It goes to the fact that it has to lie to you now, because we already know that they're full of bullshit already right up front when it comes to that, all right? Because they're just going to ignore the ratings. But the fact that they took a picture from someone's DeviantArt, that's right, someone's DeviantArt, and tried to say, oh, this picture is so hot, we had to bleep it out, and tried to blame Capcom for putting this in the game. Are you serious? This is how far you went. And the thing is, when I saw this, I went right after him. Do you have time to debate with this? Do you have time? I would love to debate you on this aspect. Let's set up a time to debate on this. And of course, they didn't listen to it. And you guys and girls, you retweeted and you liked it so much because it goes to show you that, like I said, again, another example. These people will lie. They will try and shuck and jive all damn day to get their narrative out there. But when you got someone who will sit there and look them straight in the eye and will, meet their challenge and say, no, let's do this, they run away. So who's really the bullies at this point? I'm wondering. Because it says here, oh, this one's just, I'm reading this here. It's so much, it's covered up that, we had to cover her up. I'm sorry, it's too racy that we had to cover up. Then they talk about how attention is drawn to her sexual characteristics with tight clothing emphasis, large surgical enhanced breasts. This article just goes all out to try and say that this is what, they're trying to depict women in a sexual way, even though they're supposed to be fighters, and that it's not realistic. I find that funny, because even though this article is saying that, and there's going to be people who say, yes, you're right, I'm going to sit here and say, you're absolutely wrong. You want to know why? Because I got a good example for you. I want you to meet the UFC former women's bantamweight champion, Miesha Tate. What's that? Your narrative shut down already? No. I'm going to throw more dirt on your coffin at this point, okay? Because I'll put it like this. You see that and you say, wow, she's realistic. She's a fighter. This is what she does. Yes, it's also realistic. But let's not get it twisted. There is a huge debate online to this day whether Miesha Tate's breasts are surgically implanted or not. Some people say they are. Some say they aren't. So for you to write an article and say that, these characters with these surgically enhanced breasts, this is not realistic, there you go. Or you can turn around and say, well, Miesha Tate is totally natural. Either way, your narrative is destroyed because in reality, it happens. Whether you like it or not. You went hunting and became prey. That's what happened. All right, let's move on because you know what? I really do get tired of talking about these things and defending the FGC, whether it's their characters, whether it's their community or whatever, when your so-called ambassadors are always sucking each other off because they're too damn afraid to stand up and say anything. But let's move on. Let's talk about what we saw at E3 when it came to fighting games, shall we? Okay, Dragon Ball Z Fighters. It looks great. I don't know if I can say anything bad about this. This looks great. And you know what? You got me sold. As far as I'm concerned, what I've seen, and for those who have not seen this, I will put a link in the info bar, all right? A 14-minute video, gameplay from over in Japan, okay? And it seems like a lot of people are taking that video now and using it, in their videos as if they came up with it first when they didn't. But I'll put it like this. It's a 14-minute video. I would suggest watching from about 4:11, 4:18 around there. Watch it from there on. Because the first fight, you can tell the guys are trying to figure out the buttons and figure out what's going on. They don't know what's going on yet. 4 minutes in, onto the end, these guys put on a show. They put on a show. So as far as I'm concerned, this game looks amazing. For what we've heard so far from people who have played it hands-on, it's sort of like Blaze Blue. They're saying that there are some auto combos apparently, and also has that Marvel tag in and out. We're not sure, okay? But this is what we're hearing. I'm really hoping it doesn't have auto combo like Persona, but and King of Fighters and other anime games. But we will see what happens. Apparently, but this game looks amazing. It does. It looks amazing. And as far as I'm concerned, I am hyped for this. I am. Now, for those who are also hyped for Dragon Ball, for those who don't know, closed beta is coming for Dragon Ball Z Fighters. It's coming near the end of summer. That's right. Closed beta will be for the PS4 and Xbox One, just to let you know. Okay? So PC, once again, the PC community, I guess they're just going to have to wait, and see what happens. Because this game will come out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So we will see what happens, okay? But we have more news. Let's talk about ARMS. I'm going to come back to Dragon Ball. Don't. Yeah, I'm not going to sell it short. We're going to come back to Dragon Ball. All right. ARMS. The reason I want to talk about ARMS is because today Nintendo is putting on an ARMS tournament. That's right. For those who did not see the Splatoon tournament yesterday, they did really well. Really well. I mean, commentary was top tier. I don't know why they had the other guy from the Treehouse there. He offered nothing. The third guy. But the guy on the left and the girl in the middle, they completely professional. They made that stream, that competition. It was great. I don't understand why Nintendo does these things. And I'll explain, all right? So, because I'm interested to see how ARMS is going to do today. You know, we've seen the Smash tournaments that Nintendo puts on, and they turn out to be great. The hype is there. You really get to see what's going on. Splatoon yesterday, you got to see this tournament. The hype was there. The games, the way they were set up, the way it always came down to the last second, whether to go back into overtime or not, was great by Nintendo. I don't understand why Nintendo doesn't put these on more. I don't understand this. I don't get it. But today we will see what ARMS is, what ARMS will bring to the table. I'll put a link in the info bar for ARMS. Due to the fact that, you can see, what people are saying about it, how it's a very well-played game. I still question whether it has some reactionary, issues with the controller, with the Joy-Cons, as opposed to, Wii Boxing, when you went from here to this. You know what I mean? Like, it was just absolutely ridiculous. But I think it's time to play a little game. That's right. Those are what I'm talking about. Let's play the FGC Proves Event Right again. How about that? Shall we play that game? Because, for months, I've been, proving, I would say for years I've been proving the FGC wrong when I say something's coming. But, in the previous couple of months, you guys still don't believe me. So, I guess I'm going to have to take that knife that I put into your back and twist it just a little bit more. Just a little bit, okay? Because, once again, I am being proven right. We talked not too long ago about people and fake beefs and pop-offs and all that other bullshit. Well, it seems like the Smash community is somewhat, because, y'all, what do y'all call it, autistic, and y'all call all kinds of things the Smash community, which apparently I'm a part of, but they proved me right yet again, saying that these fake beefs need to stop. Matter of fact, you've got two top players who've decided to squash their fake beef, and they said themselves that it's fake drama, and they got sucked into it. What's that? You want to clean up the fakeness in the FGC? I'm okay with that. That's one. That's number one. Let's move on to number two, shall we? Let's do that. Because, for those who don't know, over on Jabali's feed, right, on Twitter, apparently, Smash players are asking for players' associations. They're asking for unions. That's right. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, here you go. I just want to show y'all again. Just want to show y'all. I wonder who said that a long time ago, and to this day still talks about that. I wonder who. Anyways, let's move on to the next one, because that's just number two. Oh, no, we have to move on. Number three. That's right, number three. For those who don't know, commentators for Smash are worried. They're like, wait a minute. We are surprised that we are not contracted, when it comes to these bigger tournaments, especially to talk about top 8. We should be contracted to commentate because we bring the hype, right? And of course, you want to know what they were told in response when it came to SuperSmashWorld.com? They were told that they would have to clean up their scene and their attitude. As you can see, it says you have to better package your game, which is understandable, and your community/fan base. Meaning, you have to clean it up so that if you want the bigger money and the bigger draw, that's what you're going to do. I've been telling you this for how long? That's number three, though. Shall we move on to the last one? I'm only going to dig in a little bit because there's more. There's a lot more. But I'll just move on to the last one. Number 4. That's right, number 4. Now, it's amazing that after one Mike Ross comes out, he's breaking his silence on YouTube and he wants to talk about how he hates how celebrities have come into esports and are trying to replace the players, and how he hates that the big companies have stepped in and tried to take out the little guy when it comes to the FGC. Where have I heard this before? Who? But you know what? When he said that, he got praised. Oh, and on top of that, he was trying to sell you some t-shirts as well, and you were idiots enough to fall for it and buy his shit. But, you praised him for the same shit that I have said for God knows how long. He is a year late, maybe, if not more, coming out and saying this shit. And he gets praised because he's more popular as opposed to someone like me who doesn't give a shit about popularity and just will tell you how it is. Is it fair? No, because I told you before, it doesn't matter who says this shit as long as it's addressed. Remember, I said that. But it's amazing how, once again, this is a good example that the FGC has a groupie problem. A huge groupie problem. I can tell you this a year, months to years ahead of time, and you will call me every fucking name in the book. Ross comes out late as fuck and says it. Oh, it's the gospel. And then you wonder why the FGC is so far back when it comes to business. Because like I said, your ambassadors, they don't give a shit about the community. No. They only worry about themselves. Their heads up their asses, circle jerking each other. And on top of it, when they do decide to address these things, it's late as fuck. Late as fuck because they weren't worried about you at the time. Now that it directly impacts them, now it's a problem. I love this. Seriously, if you did not see that Ross video, that cross-counter TV video, at first I was like, I'm not watching this shit. Fuck Ross. Because he's a fucking fraud after all this shit he's done. Throwing his wallet on the fucking ground and shit over a match of Street Fighter, all that shit. Like, that shit is grandstanding. But now he comes out and says the exact same thing that I have said. Never mind. Let's just move on, shall we? Speaking of just overly hyped and sucking each other off and not worried about the issues that the community actually has and not addressing them, let's talk about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, shall we? Yes, let's talk about this. Shilling for the FGC, people. Let's talk about it, alright? So, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite trailer shows at E3, and I'm just like, and what's so hype about it? I don't see what's so hype. But apparently seeing that trailer has the top players who love Marvel so much because, they look back in retrospect and they say, we can make this game hype again like it used to be. All right? That's what they're saying. But, hey, let's get on Twitter and just try and shield the fuck out of it over it. And no, it's not fanboyism. It's not. After the other shit that you've seen from, it's not. Now, while you may look at those tweets and say, oh, that's just general fan hype, no. I say this due to the fact that if you look at the rest of their feeds, all right, they are trying their hardest to try and sell this to you. But it seems like the community is not buying it. Apparently, since Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the demo has hit, we know this, okay, that the community has tried it out, and they are absolutely against this game. Now, as you can see in the screen caps, people are against it after playing the demo. I actually decided to take it upon myself to play the demo. So I downloaded the demo, and to be honest, the game isn't horrible, but it's not great either. It's not. And here's the thing. Let's be real here. When Capcom decided, that this game, when they said it was going to be, very easy to play, I didn't think it was going to be this easy. Like, seriously. Like, I'll put it like this. When you get to Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Chun-Li, that's what, 3-4 minutes in? And I'm already doing 30-40 hit combos. And we're not talking auto combo. We're talking string, launching, juggling, super. And it's like, I didn't think it was going to be that easy 3 minutes in. By the time I got to playing with Dante, I was already doing 40-50 hit combos. So I guess this game, and thing is, I tried to upload the footage of, to Twitter so that you all could see it. But the share button doesn't work because recording is stopped, due to the demo. You can't do it. So, yeah, I can't do nothing about that. I tried to show you the combos, on Twitter, to share it, but it won't work. I put it like this. It feels like this game is built for instant gratification, but it's very synthetic. And I say this due to the fact that I guess for a person who's not very versed in fighting games, if they play it, they're going to feel, yeah, I did something good. You know, at 30, 40, I feel great. You know, but a person who has spent years playing fighting games, it's not going to feel that way. So when I'm playing this, I'm like, it really feels like the company, they didn't put any passion into this. It feels so synthetic. It doesn't feel authentic. So it really feels like it's just, they polished it up, they put some shiny colors into it, and that was it. And for me, when I'm playing this, I'm like, I feel nothing. I just did a 50-hit combo. I feel nothing. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe it's just having tunnel vision, just trying to work more combo. But I felt nothing. I felt no sense of satisfaction that I did that. So here's the thing. When I'm watching Dragon Ball and that 14-minute clip, and I'm getting excited over watching Dragon Ball as opposed to playing Infinite and not feeling anything, it's a problem. For me, it feels as though the company didn't put any TLC into the product. And then, of course, on top of the stuff that we already know, when it comes to, because we've seen the roster is very limited until you get hit with DLC, because they're going to DLC the fuck out of you. As you know, you already got Sigma coming, the Lock character, Black Panther is coming. Like, you're going to get DLC to hell. And for me, it's like, it's almost like they didn't care. That's what it feels like. They didn't care. They just threw it out there and said, here, do it. You know what I mean? And for what we're seeing now, people are picking this, and they have every right to pick it apart, because these are people who wanted this game. So we went from playing the demo, the way we feel, people I talked to, absolutely, they already deleted the demo. I personally am going to play a little bit more of the demo. I'm going to give it a couple more days to play it. Maybe I'll stream it and see what happens, you know what I mean, or something like that. But for me, I felt as though, like I said, it didn't feel fun. It didn't feel fun. But we have people who are trashing the demo, trashing the gameplay mechanics. Now, they're talking about the actual character models. And not only that, they want the game to be delayed. You know, when they start running with a hashtag on Twitter and you have all these people following it, it's a problem at this point. Like I said, you've got your top players who are hype, trying to scream into the halls, hype, we're going to do great things with this. And then you're seeing people, like I said, your mass community saying, no, this is a problem, you need to delay this. Now, as we know, the development for this was only, what, a year? A year. And now it's coming out in September. This game isn't going to look that much better between now and September. So you've got to be kidding me if you think that this is okay. Matter of fact, it got to a point now that it's been data mined, and they're seeing the characters that are coming, and people are already saying, this is Street Fighter vs. Tekken all over again. That's what they're saying, because it was data mined earlier, so we went from not liking the game, to bagging on the game, to destroying the character models, to delaying the game, to today on Twitter, people are saying, cancel the game completely. That's right. This is what 2 days have done. 2 days. And already people are saying cancel this game. People who were looking forward to this game. Not people who decided to just outright hate the game. We're talking people who were looking forward to this. Alright? And it's gotten so bad now that people are saying that Dragon Ball, I also agree that Dragon Ball is going to eat this alive. You would think that there would be room for both games. But after seeing the way it plays and the way the community is reacting, Dragon Ball, it's going to railroad it. Matter of fact, it got to the point where even Ono has just a little bit of a concern. But shilling is always going to be shilling, right? So while your top players are still shilling these type of products, and people don't like it, like myself, I don't like it, but I'm going to be real here, alright? No one can outshill the biggest shill of them all. Because when you see this fucking clown, hipster shill gamer, like I said, Justin Wong, when I'm trying to show this game, they've got nothing on this dude. For those who did not see, at the Microsoft conference, this is how he was acting. How many more times can you fucking embarrass yourself? Seriously, like, just the shill is just told you. E3 comes around, the opportunists come out. And the thing is, the Microsoft conference, like I said before, fuck Microsoft after what they pulled. But most all their games, what they show you? They showed you a new system and a bunch of games that were third party. Who cares at this point? Who cares? Like, seriously, I think if anything, people are going to buy it more for PC than they will for the Xbox. But whatever. Let's keep going. Let's talk about esports a little bit, all right? $10 million is going for the price for a League of Legends team. $10 million. Then you wonder why, these things aren't bigger. I understand they draw a lot of money, but these teams, a lot of these people can't afford $10 million for a team. Once again, we talked about how these big companies have come in and tried to replace the little guy. And apparently I'm a piece of shit for that. But there's more, for those who don't know. Teams are hesitant to buy into Overwatch League due to high costs and undesirable contract terms. They want $20 million right off the bat. That's right. Just for an Overwatch team, $20 million. So if you decided you wanted to get into Overwatch, man, you want to go pro with it? Good luck. It goes to show you that things, like I said, the companies have come in, the celebrities have come in, the big wigs with their millions of dollars have made this grander than what it really needs to be. And granted, MOBA is big, I get that, all right? But when you're, like I said, you have these guys coming in and you just let them in. Like I said, there's got to be, I understand a lot of people, they hate the term gatekeeping, but I told you before, when you let people in who have, in the past, in reality, actually have condemned you, then you make yourself look like fucking idiots. Because guess what? They're going to come in and they're going to do the same thing while still condemning you. They're going to replace you. That's what they're going to do. Celebrity editions already, right? But let's move on. Let's talk about more E3, shall we? Capcom. I want to scream Capcom, but I'm not going to. Like I said, and I guess I could, because I'm very upset that Capcom, excited and upset, Capcom trademarks, as you know, Monster Hunter World, and shows the trailer for Monster Hunter World at E3. Excitement for me. I'm Monster Hunter, it's a go, as far as I'm concerned. Here's the problem, okay? For what, you guys and girls told me, because you were at E3 and you're telling me this stuff, they didn't have a demo to play. So let me get this straight. You can put all your chicks in one egg, all your eggs in one basket for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and throw it out there to the world in a horrible demo for some who feel that way. I personally said I'm going to keep playing the demo for a couple days and see how I feel. Like I said, not a great demo, but whatever. And you can do that. But you can't even have a Monster Hunter demo at the kiosk at E3? Really? You can have a demo to throw out there to the internet for the world, but nothing for Monster Hunter. Capcom, you have to understand that it's time that you start relying on more franchises. The fighting franchises for you have been really bad as of late. Matter of fact, your couple of franchises, the couple of years that you've had a really bad stretch. If you think about it, Lost Planet did bad, okay? Devil May Cry did bad. Marvel is doing bad. Street Fighter V doing bad. Like, whatever you're putting out is doing... I don't know who's in charge over there, but y'all really... I don't know if y'all trying to purposely kill yourselves out there. I don't know what you're trying to do with your company, but something needs to change. Monster Hunter has been solid. It has. For a number of years. And you still fail to promote it the right way. You still don't want to give it the love it deserves. I don't understand you. I don't. It's crazy. I mean, it was good that you brought it to more platforms. I've been talking about this for how long? Instead of just Nintendo. So it's come to the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, I believe. That's fine. That's what we wanted. But for you to, it really brings up a red flag that you didn't have a demo at the booth. That's crazy. But you got enough time to make a demo to throw out on the internet for Marvel. You're going the wrong way about it. Also, more E3 news. Kingdom Hearts. For those who don't know, the new trailer has been out. People have been making fun of Goofy already being so damn mad. It's really funny to see. But for those who have not seen it, I will put the link in the info bar. Alright? Let's move on. In more news. Axiom Verge. That's right. Getting a physical release for the PS4, the PS Vita, and the Wii U. However, even though that's old news, what you didn't know is that it's also coming to the Switch. That's the new news. Alright? In a new edition, actually. So yeah, so it's going to cost more. Alright? Also, in more news. Alright? Bubsy. Fucking Bubsy. That's right. Bubsy is getting a new game. Did anyone ask for a new game for Bubsy? I don't recall that. Does anyone recall playing Bubsy 3D? No. So let me get this straight here. All right? Bubsy. We don't have a legit Spyro made yet. We don't have a new Bonk made yet. We don't have a new Tomba made yet. Etc., 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 etc. of all these lovable characters. But we get Bubsy. That's what we get. Jesus Christ. When's the last time we had a new Katamari? I'm just, you know what, just, but we get Bubsy. Jesus Alright, let's move on, shall we? Oh my god, Bubsy. I'm not playing it. I won't even give it the time of day. Bubsy, no. Told you, nightmares. Nightmares of how bad that game was. But let's move on. Shall we talk about Nintendo? First off, Nintendo E3 was spectacular. Alright? They announced 2 new Metroids. Now, granted, they only showed one. The one for the 3DS, the 2D side-scrolling one, looks spectacular. It looks great. However, Nintendo Treehouse, I'm just trying to wonder, why do you have these people on here who cannot sell a game or be excited when playing the game? This game is so fun. This game is great. Oh, this guy's kind of hard. That's how they're talking during Nintendo Treehouse. And you expect me to watch this? It's like watching paint dry. The game looks amazing. The people you have playing it, yeah, don't know how to sell a game, don't know how to be excited. It almost makes me feel as though they're not gamers at all. I practiced this part last night. Way to admit that you practiced this first and you still suck. God. Like, it was a really bad playthrough. It just was. But the game itself looks great. It does. I'm happy that Samus is back. As you know, Samus is the original waifu. She's back in 2 different games. I'm not much of a Metroid Prime fan, but for Metroid Prime fans, you get 4, it's coming to you. But the 3DS game looks spectacular. And I feel as though, if anything, that game is the one that they showed that really makes a difference. Alright? Zelda Breath of the Wild, they're coming out with DLC, season passes and all that, whatever. Should have expected that, because they want the game to flesh it out more. The biggest game for Nintendo for me, because a lot of people like to talk about, oh, well, there's a Pokemon game, but they didn't show any Pokemon footage. Or they showed the Metroid, and they didn't show any footage. The biggest game I saw was Mario Odyssey. Let me tell you, this game has a good chance to be Game of the Year when it's released. I'm saying this now. When I'm watching, and I watched the full playthrough of this on Treehouse, it brought back memories of the 64 GameCube era. It did. And the fact that there was so much passion and love put into this game. Like I said, Mario's going up the side, and you see, he turns back into 2D Mario, so he has to jump up the side. I mean, the worlds, the level design, I'm telling you, the character designs, the way they did everything, the story, what we've seen on how, the New Donk City and all that, and the mayor and all, they've done a spectacular job with this. And as far as I'm concerned, this is probably, I'm going to say, the best Mario we've probably seen in years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still a big fan of Super Mario Maker, but because Super Mario Maker was so big for me was because it plays on nostalgia. It brings back gamers' passions. This game, it shows the developer had passion. That's what I'm talking about. And I hate to compare Mario to Marvel, but that you can tell the difference. You really can. When it comes to a passion, you can get it. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, that I understand. That was great to see that entire gameplay through. But as you know, because of Mario, people have to whine and complain. That's right. Ubi shit. Again, your employees. Can't you get a hold of these people? What's wrong with you? Now they want to come out and say, because Mario was wearing a sombrero, here we go with our cultural appropriation garbage. She tries to speak for Mexicans. Again, Ubi shit. I don't understand you. What is with your employees? Is this why your games are so bad? Is this why? Because, you have your own problems, but maybe these type of employees are affecting it from the ground up. I don't understand this at all. I don't. She tries to speak for Mexicans, and I'm telling you now, okay? You can pause this video right now, head to Twitter, and see that Mexicans came out in droves and was like, oh no, you're not going to speak for us. We love this shit. This is awesome. This is great. We fully embrace what this is. Mario wearing all this, we embrace it completely. And it's great to see that. And of course, when she saw it, it was, oh no, they don't agree with me. I got to do something about this. And if you look today on Twitter, like I said, you can pause right now and see it. She actually admits that she muted all of the responses after being told that she was wrong by said group because she says it's harassment. So let me get this straight. You try and pull the race card to defend or try to speak for said minority group, but you don't want to once again, you don't want to listen to said minority group. And when the minority group tells you how wrong you are on this and don't speak for them because they can speak for themselves, you label them as harassment. Oh my fucking God. You've got to be, look, I thought we've gotten past this by now with Mario, haven't we? Because it was such a stereotype. Mario's been a stereotype since 1985. No one gave a shit then. I mean, how many times have we seen people try to dig into this well to stop Mario from wearing specific outfits that he wears? No one cares. No one cares. Everyone is having fun. I mean, do you have a problem they dressed like a frog back in the day? And he can swim underwater? Oh my god. Like, come on. Come on. He wears a cape and he can fly and he can let come on. Come on. Wait, he just jumped. He just got some flower power. Let's stop. Stop. I guess you got something against stars too. If he runs it, he's invincible. You know, I just don't understand the reach. I don't. Mario has always been this way, and nobody has complained about it until this new generation of fucking crybabies. I'm very convinced that none of these people really play video games, but they want jobs, just jobs. And then when they get into this culture, they don't know what the fuck they're getting themselves into. It really is fish out of water. You cannot sit here and say it's cultural appropriation when said group that it represents doesn't care. You don't get the right to do that. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Let's talk about Friday the 13th. That's right, we got some horror news. Friday the 13th. Now, a lot of you have asked me, Event, did you get Friday the 13th? We know that you're a big Friday the 13th fan. No, I didn't get it. You want to know why? Because it's not finished. That's why I didn't get it. There's no way I'm paying for a half-ass game. I mean, let's be real here. There's no single-player mode. And while the game does look great, it has a number of problems. And we're not even just talking about the internet connection, all right, when it comes to playing online. We're talking tons of glitches, tons of bugs. This game has problems and needs to be fixed. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because for those who don't know, Friday the 13th patch fixes various issues. Now, before this news came out, you have to understand developers, they came out with their own patch notes about this. They wanted people to understand what they're going through, because people were complaining that they couldn't really play this game. There were so many problems with this game. And they're like, you don't know how hard it is to be a developer and try to catch bugs, and now we got to put a patch out, and we got to spend more money, and we had a deadline. Don't nobody give a fuck about that. These people went out there, it's almost like they don't understand goods and services, because these people went out there, they bought your product, they supported you, and you fucked them. That's what you did. You fucked them. And it's put like this. You went out there, you spent the money, and then you will tell me, not only didn't you give them single-player mode, you'll have to wait for that. But the fact is, you had so many problems with this game that people were upset. They have a right to be if they spent the money for it. And you think they're going to feel bad for you? You should have delayed the game. That's what you should have did. But my deadline, I don't want to hear a fucking deadline, all right? We have seen for years upon years upon years of developers, publishers admitting, okay, we had a deadline, we know this game is broken as fuck, but we're going to put it out later and we'll just patch it later. We'll put it out now, patch it later. That's what we'll do. And cause the consumer a lot of, I say discomfort due to the fact that they spent their hard-earned money on the game. I say that. It's amazing how these people can sit here and want you to feel bad for them. No, we don't feel bad for you. We spent the money to support you because we believed in you and you screwed us. That's how it is, it's community. No one's going to feel bad for you. If you delayed the game, took your time, and caught the bugs, and I put it like this, you're not going to catch everything. I understand this. You're not going to catch everything. Alright? Internet connection and stuff like that, yeah, they can be patched. But we're talking about glitches and stuff, shit that just needed to be fixed. It really needed to be fixed. And you didn't do that. And then you complained about it before putting out the patch. You want people to feel bad for you. They don't want to feel bad for you. No. Would you feel bad if people wanted their money back? Would you feel bad then? If they wanted a refund? Come on. Come on. Seriously. This is what I mean. There's the no. I guess you're going to fall back and say, well, art is subjective. No, I'm not trying to hear that shit. If you supply and demand, because we talk about goods and services, supply and demand. You put out a quality, competent product because you already sold the product to the people. And if it's not quality, they have the right to complain. And they have the right to want you to fix it. Since that's how it goes these days, we'll just put it out and we'll fix it later. Fix it then. Stop complaining, just fucking fix it. Let's move on. The Evil Within 2 has been confirmed, which is good. I mean, you should be happy that we're getting more horror genre, the Evil Within. Now Part 2 is coming out. People I see are very hyped about it. All right, I have nothing against this at all. This is a good thing, right? This is positive. Let's move on. Check this out. Get the fuck out. The horror game. That's right. This game is on my radar. I say this because it is a team co-op horror game. If you do not work together, you will all die together. That's right. This is something that I really feel as though you can get your hands on this and work as a team co-op wise. Now look. The only thing scary about Get the Fuck Out, as far as I'm concerned, was the previous iteration of Get the Fuck Out when, that documentary came out. That's probably about as scary as it's going to get. But this game does look really good, all right? It does. And as far as I'm concerned, let's say, if you're interested, I'll put the link in the info bar. We do have some more horror news, okay? Conarium, that's right. A Lovecraftian horror game is coming out. And so if you're into that type of stuff, also, that will be coming out soon, by all means. You know what I mean? Give it a shot. Like I said, all these things will be linked in the info bar. Also, Agony, the horror game, secures a physical release. That's right. And the game will be expanded. So they're planning expansion because of physical release. So it goes to show you, again, developers, I hope you're taking notes. Instead of complaining about having to fix glitches and all, it goes to show you, if you put out a game and the community supports it, then this is what you should do. Expansion is going to come in plan. This is what happens when you have a community that is dedicated to you or believes that you can pull this off. That's simple. That's simple. Also, more news. Shenmue 3 has been delayed until 2018. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'll put it like this. Take your time making a game due to the fact that we're sitting here talking about glitches and everything. Take your time. I will say, though, that Sega, where's your HD? I mean, we've talked about Shenmue HD remakes. And Sega, remember, just a month or so ago, Sega was like, yeah, we had that plan all along. That's what they said, remember? And I was like, no, you didn't. Because fans yelled at you the entire time and you didn't do it. They've been asking for you for years. So, no, you didn't have it planned all along. So I'm thinking at the very least, you would debut the HD remake at least? At E3, no. Instead, you give us Sonic Forces. Okay. And don't get me wrong, Sonic Forces looks good, but it's not Shenmue 3 or Shenmue 1 and 2 HD remake. So, let's move on. Battleborn! Why are we talking about this? Battleborn competitive multiplayer is now free. And it's funny because on the weekend that it went free, Overwatch had a double XP weekend, so that means everyone still played Overwatch. Battleborn, look, I told you, Randy Pitchford, no one wants your shit. Nobody wants it. After the way you've acted, doing your little songs with your guitar, and these developers want to be more than what they really are. And you fail to realize that the more you act up, instead of just keeping your mouth shut and making a game, like I said, you're never going to sell me on anything ever again after Aliens Colonial Marines anyway. I don't give a shit how many Borderlands games you come out with. I am not supporting you at all. Alright? Aliens Colonial Marines was it. That was it. And now you're done. You know? So, like I said, you want to act a fool, you want to act up, that's on you. Alright? But it goes to show you that the more you act up and the more you try and push your own personal narratives and agendas on social media instead of just keeping your fucking mouth shut and making your game and just try to mend with the community instead of trying to play the dozens, try to keep it, divided. It's us versus them. Instead of trying to, build that bridge, then fuck you. There's enough drama to go around this bitch. We don't need any more. But apparently people don't understand that either. Because, speaking of Overwatch, Dafran has been banned from Overwatch competition for encouraging fans to cheat. That's right. Matter of fact, this is what he said, because he talks about how he doesn't give a fuck about his career, but he understands that what he is saying is affecting his teammates. It got to the point where they had to ban him, and now they're saying that this dude needs help, and they're going to get him actual mental help. Maybe that's for the best. Some of these people, maybe the pressure gets them and they have to act a fool. Or maybe you can understand that these players, you have to understand, players who are in esports, you have to understand something very much these days. And it seems like you haven't still made this connection with professional athletes. Because remember, the media deems professional athletes as role models. Remember that. Charles Barkley, I'm not a role model. It doesn't matter what the fuck he thinks. Alright? But the fact is, majority are looked up to. Alright? Role models. It seems like gamers, when you get to a high level, you don't understand the responsibility that you have. And that's a problem. I say it's a problem due to the fact that I can tell you right now at MomoCon when I was there, I had two guys come up to me. Alright? And was like, excuse me, sir, they had to be about 14, maybe 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. All right? Excuse me, sir. Can we go talk to that Smash player over there? Shaking and, literally, nervous. And I turned to them. I literally said, go ahead. Ain't nobody stopping you. Who gives a shit who he is? I literally said that to them. And they looked at me like, did he just say it doesn't matter who he is? That's what they looked at me like. And I'm like, yeah, who gives a shit? Don't talk to him. And he ran over there. Oh, my God, can we take a picture with you? And the selfies and all this. And I'm like, Dude, if players don't understand that they have that type of fan base and that they do have a responsibility and that now you literally have kids looking up to you. And I see these players. I see what the fuck they say online on Twitter because a lot of you retweet what the fuck they say. And they try to act like such badasses on Twitter. When you see them in real life, they're like 100 pounds soaking wet wearing tight fucking jeans. I can't tell you how many Smash players I saw trying to run across the conference room in tight ass jeans with their jeans brushed up against each other. Like it was going to start a fucking fire. It's ridiculous. It is. But it goes to show you that these people, and it doesn't matter what I think about these players apparently, it doesn't matter, it's my opinion, that's my opinion. But you have a responsibility with these people who look up to you because you're a good player or you're a good commentator or whatever. You have a responsibility to treat them like human beings, to let them know even before they even meet you, hey man, I'm just like you. You have that responsibility. If you don't want that pressure of, I'm a superstar and whatever, hey man, I'm just like you. You can approach me, we can shoot this shit, not a big deal. Not a big deal. But if you're going to act like you're some big fucking superstar on Twitter and just, yeah, this is me, and I'm the biggest guy here in this community on Twitter, and I'm always this social stuff, and what, you don't want me at this, you think I'm not at this tournament, well, I'll be at this tournament. You're just going to just act like you're just the big head honcho, and then when people come to you, you look really weird about things, then it goes to show you that you have a lot of work to do yourself. Let your fan base know. It doesn't matter if it's one person or 1 million people. Let them know, hey, look, this is where I'm at. Anytime you want to come, shake a hand, take a picture, have fun, it's fine. These dudes was literally nervous to meet you. It's ridiculous. But like I said, these are kids. These aren't adults. These are kids. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. You have to approach it differently than you do with an adult. Seems like there's a lot of people in this community, like I said, still with their heads up their own asses. Because, like I said, remember, now that you're seeing all this about, oh, we're going to squash the fake beef. But remember, just in the Smash community, they were promoting Lupe's thuggery. Like, there's a lot of growing up to do across the board. There just is. It seems like some of them are taking initiative to do it, while others are, like I said, again, heads up their asses. Still heads up their asses. I don't know. I just feel as though this is one of those things where when you have a guy in this type of situation, in a competitive standpoint, and I don't give a fuck about my career, blah, 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 blah. You're not a rebel, dude. You're not a rebel. I was only trolling. No one cares. You were dealing with a multi-million-dollar company. I said, Overwatch Pro, $20 million company. I don't give a fuck, blah, blah. Stop. That's not helping the situation any. And that's why they said, motherfucker, you need help. So, yeah, you have to understand what you're in and also what's ahead of you. And it seems like a lot of people don't understand that. Because like I said, these are still gamers. They don't realize the responsibility they still have. Now, of course, a lot of us can say, they're just playing fucking video games. Yeah, I feel that way. But there are also others who don't feel that way. Gamers who have gone pro understand you are an investment. All right? That's what you are. Once you get sponsored or whatever, you are an investment. Just like any other pro athlete, you are an investment. And you have a responsibility. So when you hear commentators, we should be sponsored too. You are an investment. So stop acting up. Okay, let's move on. Because I can go on this for days. Hover. Let's talk about it. For those who are fans of Jet Set Radio, Hover, Revolt Gamers, has been pretty much pushed out, and it's coming back. People have already played it already, and they're giving it great reviews. This game does look great. The same people, pretty much the same people who did Jet Set Radio. The music and everything, it looks great. By all means, as far as I'm concerned, give it a shot if you're a fan of Jet Set Radio. Of course, we're not getting an official Jet Set Radio just yet, because business. I don't know why. Sega. Oh. Sega. But, let's move on, please. I want to talk about EA and their bullshit. Yeah, EA. Where the fuck do you get off, EA, showing a bunch of bullshit at your fucking conference, games that nobody wants to fucking play, alright, because you really didn't do shit. You didn't show shit. Oh, we got Battlefront 2, and this time you're going to give us single-player mode. You act like you're doing us a fucking favor. Yeah, we gave you single-player mode. You can praise us now. No! Fuck you! It's that simple. You gonna sit here telling me gamers who jumped all over you for not having single-player mode before because you fucked them over, now that you give it to them, we're supposed to just praise you? That's what we're supposed to do? Oh, praise EA! Fuck you. You brought nothing to the table. Nothing. And the game itself doesn't look that good, to be honest. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit what EA has put out. Oh, we're going to show you some more sports games. Okay, so did you bring out Fight Night? No? You didn't bring out Fight Night, huh? No Fight Night. Okay, so you fucked that. Okay, EA, let's see. Did you bring out Army of Two? No? You just gave up on Army of Two? Okay, so fuck you for that. What else? like, come on. You're bringing nothing to the table that says you have any type of, you want to talk diversity. Yeah, we'll talk about fucking diversity. But they bring anything to the table when it comes to a diverse type of games. Oh, we're just going to show you a bunch of same shit that we bring out every year. FIFA, Madden, no one cares. We're trying to make FIFA more realistic. Any more realistic, you must take your ass outside. I don't understand this. I don't. And if you notice, while they were showing this stuff, fans are just like, yeah, I guess. Star Wars fans were like, yeah, yeah. That was the only time. But then when you set them straight, they're like, yeah, I guess you got a point there. So what do you have, EA? What do you have? I haven't seen anything. I didn't see anything. But like I said, diversity, diverse. I guess we should roll this picture as well, shall we, EA? Let it burn. Let it burn. Seriously, EA, hey, at this point, you don't have really that much of consumer support. I say this due to the fact that, let's be real here, all right? Outside of your sports games, you would be fucked. You look at the year you had, even the year before that, and you did bad. You got hit hard. Remember, an embarrassment of riches. I think we'll talk about that next week. But it's amazing how, EA, you have gone so far under your... And people have said this just yesterday. They were saying, actually the last 2 days, they were saying, you're so anti-consumer, it's ridiculous. Hey, let them burn, man. But more anti-consumer talk. I don't even know if it's anti-consumer at this point. I guess you could say that. And arrogance as well. But I also know. Sony still doesn't get why gamers want backwards compatibility. The link will be in the info bar. Just to say, yeah, why would you want to play games from back in that era? They look bad, they age bad. Why would you want to do that? And here's the thing. I think that people don't realize that it's not always about playing in the now, as opposed to in the future. Can I say a year from now go back and play said game? It doesn't always have to be PS1 games or PS2 games. But seriously, what about our PS3 games? We can't play our PS3 games on the PS4, right? And they're still, let's be honest here, that's why you're doing all these HD remakes. See, here's the thing. They're not, because it works in both ways for you, all right, and your digital copies that you make. You know for a fact that people want backwards compatibility, all right? But you want it done on your terms. That's what it is. See, you spoiled us. Let's be real here. Gamers were spoiled with the PS2. PS1, we can play PS1 games on a PS2, and I can play PS2 games? Got it. We were spoiled. So when the PS3 came out, we was like, we should be able to play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games on the PS3. And at first it is. So people was like, got it. And then all the problems started happening. And then Sony was like, it's not our fault, it's your fault. And we're not going to pay for your system for failing. Yo, that's death. And then other OS, we're taking it away. So a lot of people had a lot of problems with the PS3. All right? And then, of course, there was, well, the infrastructure's not as good as we wanted to, and the power to sell and all this other shit, you know? It's amazing because I will defend Sony on that, to be honest, because let's be real here, all right? Developers did not take their time to learn new tech. That's what it was. It's amazing how everybody wants the future to be here, but no one wants to harness the time or harness the future. Because the power to sell, I'm not trying to say the power, I only say that because of the phrase, but let's be real here. People who actually worked on it, like Uncharted, they used it towards their advantage. All right? While other people were like, no, we're just going to go to 360 because it's simpler. But yet these same developers were the one pushing for more power. Were they not? Okay. So, the PS4, Pro, or whatever, here. Sony still says that you don't need backwards compatibility unless you buy the game again digitally. Which is still backwards compatibility because they're still selling old games to you, so they know that you want them. Alright? And like I said, it's not just about the now. It's about the future. And it seems like Sony still hasn't paid attention to that. I mean, I will bring up Microsoft and say that, because Microsoft did the same thing. They were like, yeah, well, they say they want backwards compatibility. Look at all the backwards compatibility games we have, and how many hours have been put into backwards compatibility games. And a lot of people say, well, that's because you have no games to begin with. But that's not the point. The point is you should always have a chance to go back and play your games. Because let's be real, unless you keep those consoles, which will be stacked up and collecting dust somewhere in a closet or in a box somewhere, alright, you would not be able to play these games. It's amazing how Sony went from, when they were losing at one point with the PS3, oh, we'll try and help you as much as possible. And Microsoft, remember, when the Xbox One was coming out, well, if you want to play your backwards compatibility games, yeah, you should just keep your 360. Fuck it. Right? People didn't like that shit. Now, Sony's in pole position, and Sony is saying, well, we don't know why you want backwards compatibility, but, yeah, if you want, you're going to pay for it, you know, in a different way. But we don't know why you want it. You might as well just keep your old console if you want that. Starts to sound the same. It does. Not only that, alright, Sony refuses cross-platform play. Yeah. And their excuse is absolutely ridiculous. We have to, cater to our install base, and we have to make sure that it's secure. Even though we've got millions and millions upon millions of our install base, we have to do it right for the players of our install base. And I'm like, you're fucking full of shit, alright? Because players want cross-play. See, I've told you before, the reason, like Microsoft, what Microsoft was saying, yeah, we can do cross-play. Yeah, because, Microsoft products and PC, it works. Yeah. It's cross-play. Because you want to make the consumer say, hey, we do care about you. Yeah, because you're in a losing position right now. That's why. But Sony, they're in the winning position. And they're like, no, we don't want that. Because we want to secure our install base. I.e., you're paying $60 a year for this online gaming, and we've been hacked to death, and we want to make sure that we stay exclusive because it's the Sony way. And we don't really give a shit what the consumer wants. Because your install base is telling you they want cross-platform play. Because you know what? This would kill every system war. It would. It would. PlayStation fans playing with Xbox fans, playing with PC fans, man, the community would love that. There would be some jawing within those circles, but the systems wouldn't matter at that point. And Sony knows that. They're only relevant because of the exclusivity. The tides have changed. Like I said, you can put, whether you have an Xbox One or a Scorpio or Xbox One, Xbox, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and a PS4 Pro, you can stack them next to each other. Put the same games, let's just say same third-party games, if they put passion to it, the same third-party games on each system. Alright? Blindfold, was not blindfold the gamer, but blindfold the actual system where gamers can't see what it is, block it out, and let them play. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You wouldn't be able to. Unless it's an exclusive game from said, company, you wouldn't know. Or if you had a PC, because PC fans will tell you, y'all keep playing around and keep buying those systems that's now annually. Guess what? We're going to keep playing, just upgrading our PCs and still be stronger. That's what they'll tell you. It goes to show you that if consumers, if they get their way, the console companies lose their edge. I say that because their vantage point, they lose it. This is why we're still on top. Exclusivity, keeping you solely on our networks. Like I said, why do you think they're so big on the networks anyway? They said, when they got rid of arcades, it's to keep you on the networks. But when you talk to people at conventions and you go to locals, they love the fact that people are right next to them and they can talk and have fun and everything. You don't get that online. You can have friends and talk online and still have fun, but it's not the same as being face-to-face. The companies have too much in stock when it comes to their networks. They put too much money into it, too much investment. And that's all it comes down to. It's amazing how they try to say there's not going to be any crossplay with Tekken because security measures. Motherfucker, you've been hacked how many times, Sony? So don't talk about security measures. I don't want to hear that. Alright? It's amazing. But remember, because we saw that before, come after us if you think you can do it. And then they went after him. Anyways, I think I'm done for a day. This is just, it's absolutely ridiculous, things that we're seeing. And I know this video is going to be long, but man, you've got to be kidding me. The shit that just went through, and E3's not even over yet. I want to watch the ARMS, the ARMS tournament. But it's just absolutely crazy. It's crazy. A lot of news I had to be discarded because I could have did 2 or 3 days worth of videos on this. Just so much bullshit, so much selfishness, so much pandering, so much shilling. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't. And you need to know who's on your side, in your corner. Because when you see that shit, you should know, that motherfucker right there, that's a fake motherfucker. Right there. Who the hell want to deal with somebody who wants to keep constantly lying to you or keep you on their side simply because they can sell you some shit? And I'm not talking companies. It's ridiculous. But again, people have every right now to be very excited. 2017's lineup, like the games that were announced into 2018, is going to be a great time for gaming. There are some great games out there. I just hope they don't get overshadowed by bullshit. And when I mean bullshit, not only on one side, people trying to culturally appropriate and all this other shit in politics and identity politics, but then you also have companies who will kill their games with company bullshit tactics. And that's not called for. It's not. Like I said, when it comes to Dragon Ball and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I think Dragon Ball is going to railroad it, simply for the fact that the way Capcom set themselves up. But if Capcom didn't set themselves up like this, I definitely would feel as though this would be something like both games could coexist. We'll see who throws the money at the games when it's time for the high-level players to start playing. Because that's what it comes down to. That's why Marvel lasted so long last time. Because of Capcom just throwing the money. Take this. Hype, take this. Hype, take this. Same thing with Street Fighter. You saw how they even tried to hype up Street Fighter before. We saw that. Before it was out. We saw that. Invitational team plays and celebrity plays. Now look what's happened. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Until next time, I'm out.